There was. And now as we get into drafting game number 2, it's interesting because
as this continues, we'll see what they pick up in those last few spots, because I want to know the matchup in that mid lane.
Illinois hurts. Like that's a lot of damage going through. And yeah, the Lee Sin is gonna Clan Sparkle's gonna need to do something very different from the last game. And I said I wanted him on more of a damage dealer, more of a, still the initiation coming in with the Lee Sin, but I needed to see more damage. And hopefully, there's a reason this was a ban in that last game. He can step up and do what we need him to.
I like the fact that Lee Sin will help with that. Also, now he has an area to camp right off the bat. I think you want to focus his cast. Like, don't let her get going. Just really put your attention on her. You played through Bishop. That didn't quite work out. And I don't think that's Bishop's fault. I think, again, Liznasta and Clan Sparkle just were a little bit off as those frontliners. Flawed Logic was right next to Bishop the whole time, which I think, makes your AD carry always feel comfortable. And, ooh, we're going right back to it. AD carry battle. Jinx against Caitlyn on the bottom side of the map.
You're very familiar with both of these champions.
These are my two top
These
players.
are literally your two top picks.
Love them both. I love Caitlyn early, but then Jinx, anytime you get a reset, so difficult to catch because she's able to reset, reposition in a fight, and really hard to lock down. And you don't have someone right now that can do that for Illinois. Nautilus is the one that everyone's been using. Just pop the ult right on her, and then you get the CC right there. But again, you've got to get those kills. Get those kills first for Purdue, for Bishop. That's going to happen. I like that they also saved this final pick for Holy Carp to give him a nice little counter pick.
And it's just a scary team in general for Illinois. They have double range bottom lane. They have a really strong level 6 jungler that can take advantage of those things. And then the top lane, it's pretty self-sufficient. Up against something like the GP, you can just go blow for blow, just kind of farm.
All right.
And then the Cassiopeia now into the Azir on the opposite side.
Yeah, what we were saying earlier, there are not a lot of Azir players really in North America on the top end right now with the way that Azir has kind of been nerfed. But Holy Carp now has his hands on it and will try to prevent the Rengar engages, the Rengar advances from Shox. Again, Rengar in our game too. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So the players are moving through this pretty quick, and they're about ready to rock. So we got to get predictions in now. Looking at this, Illinois, high risk, high reward composition, but given the way they played that last game, they are going to have to be the ones I favor here. I think their draft, it definitely, if it starts to slide, is going to go badly for them. But I think given the maturity they played that last game with, I think Illinois is going to take this.
I like Purdue's comp here. I like Purdue's comp here, Holy Carp now, in something that he can farm safe, but make his own plays if he needs to. I think on the Syndra, it's a little bit harder. You're a little bit unsafe, but when you have your own escape like an Azir does, that also gives you a little bit more freedom to make your own plays as well.
I'm going to go with Illinois on this one. I feel like the first game, they definitely proved that it was just lag. It was just kind of, the holidays for them. So I think that they were going to have a rematch of the previous finals.
All right, you heard it there. Split on the desk. Degon thinks we're going to go to game number 3. We're going to find out here in just a bit as we're going to get into our second game of this series, our second set of the day, our semifinals over in the West. The winner of the series, of course, will advance to face Michigan State in our grand finals. And, you know, Illinois is keen to do it. Keen to repeat the performance they had the last time around because, of course, it was Illinois who took all 5 games up against Michigan State in an epic best-of-5 finals. It was the 3 of us on that desk as well, and that was one heck of a game. I mean, that would be pretty nice to have again, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was an insane series, one that I'm sure all the players remember.
Oh, yeah.
Every moment, and it came down. I remember Game 5 was the closest game, too.
It was insane. So taking a look at this early game, we've got a lot of scaling for both of these teams.
Uh-oh.
And already some fighting breaking out here.
Here comes Mr. Sparkle.
Gonna try and hit that resonating strike. No, all right, so it's all good. I was gonna say, there's a lot of carry for both of these teams. This early game, how much action do you really expect us to see?
I mean, I would say possibly junglers running into each other once, but really not too much. Bottom side might be the main one. Kuderik and the Bosch have a lot more poke leeway, which might lead to opportunities where Flawed Logic getting some more hooks in. And we've seen Flawed Logic. He was the one that was able to constantly pull in that Azir that likes to fight in distance areas to make things happen. But again, I think it'll be the bottom side of the map where we see a lot of the action.
And it's not too often you see a dual lane marksman that's not somebody trolling or just being salty. But of course, now with Senna joining us here on the Rift, that's going to open up a lot more potential for that poke, like you were talking about, Degon. And we'll see how this goes because, you know, we talked about Caitlyn Morgana for such a long time. That was sort of the dominant dual lane standard, something you bring out in the pubs to just wreck a lane. And Caitlyn Senna now, this opens up a whole other world of possibilities.
It's a lot of range. It's a lot of harass. It'll get even more range for the Bosch as time goes on. And there's no real sustain here for Bishop. Remember, the sustain that's on the Relic Shield was taken away for your ally, so there's none of that to kind of keep him healthy. The damage that goes down will be sticking for the most part, save for a little bit of fleet footwork. But what about you, Degon? How do you feel about this matchup? Because you play both these characters, both long-range trap characters.
Yeah, I feel a little bit less safe with having Sen on your squad. I think just one hook here really stunts your ability to constantly push under pressure with the Caitlyn. So I'd prefer to be on the back foot here, see us safely with the Jinx, and know that once Illinois steps out of line and Flawed Logic goes in, you're on the advantage. That's how I feel. So I'd feel much safer here with the Jinx. And now with Clam Sparkle coming in
here
unseen.
Comes Mr. Sparkle for the cleanup.
Oh! We do see the root going to try and start things off.
What
The
a
dredge
hook.
line is there. TP is being committed, but it's too little, too late. Double TP. I may have spoken too soon. Flawed Logic's going to be the next target. He can try and take him down as well. TP's coming in on both sides. Holy Curve is going to go in as well.
Everyone's
on top
here.
Part of this. He's going to be knocked down to boot, and this is a much bigger committal from Purdue, and they're getting rewarded for it. Continuing to pick up these kills. Nice job there. Both sides in the end. It's a 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, party on the bottom side of the map. Everybody coming on down, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now Kuderik and the Bosch without flashes, or without the flash and the heal from the Bosch. Kuderik doesn't have his as well. It's going to be so hard for Illinois to constantly push this lane, knowing that at any point Clam Sparkle can come on in and make it very difficult for them to have to try and sidestep through this Lee Sin that wants to play an early game type of strategy here. So the Jinx, a lot safer now. Normally down on CS as she is, but now can play a little bit more aggressive, knowing that Flawed Logic can and will punish the missteps of the team.
Yeah. It would be a little hard to get those kills, though, because Kuderik does have Flash, but even trading aggressively here is really smart due to the teleport that is on Bishop's side.
You see a lot of commitment coming in from Purdue, not only putting some pressure in on the mid lane, but also helping to secure some counter jungle for the Lee Sin. And I think that's part of the equation because when I'm looking at this, so you've got Senna who's pretty immobile, but also not tanky.
I hate that term. I use it all the time.
Why do you hate it?
Because she's not immobile. She can move.
She can.
She's just low mobility.
Low mobile.
Yeah, immobile is like you root yourself like Xerath, right?
Oh.
Well, they're going to look to try and move right in and go in and pick up some kills.
Oh, he's rooting his immobile.
There we go. And we are going to see the damage coming on through, trying to trade off the aggro as best they can, and Bishop's going to be able to pick it up. But that still is not going to be enough as finally another member rotates down through, trading 1-for-1 so far. Flawed Logic able to get himself out with the dredge line, but still Purdue making the best of these situations, and the aggro juggle there was stellar.
Yeah, but you kind of gave over the shutdown to the one-shot, no-fun Rengar. That's not as great if you're Clan with Sparkle. You do get the assist for the kill, and you do get this Jinx rolling now with the kill in Bishop's coffers. However, not fun to play against a Fed Rengar, whether you're Caitlyn or Jinx.
Yeah, and no flash right now either for Bishop and Kuderik, so that's something to also keep in mind when they have this Rengar hitting level 6, which he'll hit 6 before the flash comes back up for the side of Bishop, most likely unless something goes really wrong in his jungle. And that's always something to consider. I always kind of don't want to play the game until my flash is back up as an AD versus Rengar, because I wouldn't be able to play the game.
Right,
He'll
that
just
is
show
correct.
up.
It's
Hard to play the game when you're dead.
It's not fun. You see the target on one of your teammates' head when Rengar ults, and you're like, yeah, that's going to shift to me. It shifts to you, and then you're dead. That's what happens.
We talked a lot about this bottom lane so far, but we were watching that mid for a while, and it's interesting because Holy Kerp showing that, you know, he can play this Azir as well. Talk to us a little bit more about this mid matchup here. So far, it seems like it's been pretty even, all things considered, but look at the CS, and Holy Kerp is just bullying the crap out of Command Attack.
I mean, he's had attention there too. We saw that the Rengar is mostly focused on farming. It's hard for him to get ganks in on this lane in mid lane because the brush are just so far away from the center, which Kerp has been staying by. And he's been freezing. He's been getting a gigantic wave to go his way. It's just taken a decent amount of time to get there. The mid-range of the Cassiopeia is really shut down by the Azir. And also, you risk him jumping in and pushing you back once the level 6 hits. So I think it's been mostly the attention that was thrown that way. And I think that Clam Sparkle was doing a good job of hovering there and making sure. We even saw Flawed Logic make a half visit there, right?
Right.
So, yeah, the more attention a mid laner gets in that lane, even if no kills go over, it still matters a lot for the momentum of the lane and where the minion wave is.
Yeah, Command Attack's like modus operandi right now is you see us under turret, and while you shove the wave back, then Holy Kerp gets it, he shoves it back into you, you miss a couple CS while he has control of the wave further up, and then you have to do your best to CS under turret. That's why you find him so far behind right now, almost 15 CS behind.
Okay, so right now, if I'm Shox, what I want to do is I want to do my camps that will get me to 6, and then I want to play around bottom side. The Drake is up. He's still 5. I don't know if this will get him 6 or not. If it does, then that's really the play you want to make is bot side hovered, kill Jinx, or go for Dragon. There's the 6 right now.
And a lot of pings coming out. This is exactly what they're going to look to try and do, pinging underneath this turret.
He may try to back for some extra damage before he goes for the play. He does have a window of maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes before the Jinx's flashes up, but if he doesn't want to risk it, he'll go for it now.
I think looking at this, there's no reason not to try and set up the kills here. You've got this Rengar. You've already got the 1 kill. You want to try and continue to extend this so you can start establishing some control around these early Drakes. Rift Herald, of course, has spawned as well. Going to be a potential option for 2 of those over the course of the next 12 minutes, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. And, of course, if you can execute on a couple of these kills in the bottom, not only you can leverage the lane priority to potentially look towards the Drake, you can also potentially look towards some of these turret plates.
Here comes Lee, level 6, so this will be a full-on fight on the bottom side.
The Bosch is playing so aggressively, though. You saw how far up past the minion wave you went. I think you can read that if you are Bishop and Flawed Logic, that Shox was down there on that side. Now that they're further back, in a little bit of trouble.
Gonna look to try and go on in
Immobile.
on Kuderik here. There we are seeing it. And the timing on that actually perfect for Purdue, as Rengar actually hit back right before that, not able to pick up any of the kills, though.
Yeah, good sidestep there by Kuderik. A Sonic Wave coming on through for Clam Sparkle, not quite landing, and then the Mega Inferno, the Super Mega Inferno Bomb, or
Death Rocket. There you are.
Super Mega Death Rocket.
Super Mega Death Rocket, that's
there you
what it is. Mega Inferno Bomb, Super Mega Death Rocket. That's what it is.
Super Mega Death Rocket, yep. It's it's SMD.
There you are.
Super Mega Death Rocket coming on through, not quite enough damage. And so forces back Illinois. They don't get the kill, but Purdue do get the first Drake. Illinois, nice answer back with the Rift Herald on the top side of the map.
And fun other facts, we're talking about names of Jinx abilities. every single one of Jinx's abilities has an exclamation point because she's just that excited. She's just that ready to rock and roll.
Oh, she does. I never noticed that.
Every single one. Yep. It's the little things. It's the little things, guys. Makes a difference. Thanks, Riot. Thanks, Riot. And I talked about the ability to leverage some of those kills or at least pressure in the bottom lane into some of those turret plates, and that's exactly what Purdue was able to do right there. Having the Jinx, I mean, we can't sleep on this Jinx at all. I mean, we talk about the threat of the Caitlyn Senna, but you talk about Jinx in the late game, and she is terrifying in her own right, and if Purdue can get her there in a good position, that could be scary. As we look up towards the top now, this is going to be the initiation. The heal not going to be able to do, or sorry, helping to pick that up there, I should say, keeping his teammates alive is the Bosch up there as well, helping them dive underneath that turret. And now summoning the Rift Herald as well. That is going to be a whole lot of pressure up here on the top for Illinois.
Yeah, good play there by Shox to target the top side. A bit of a misplay there by Liznasta. He used Cure Scurvy early. And I think you don't get slowed by the knockup from Cho'Gath until you land. So because he landed, he was slowed. Easy pickup now on the bottom side of the map. Speaking of easy pickup, Azir time.
No alcove for you, good sir, and that's going to be a clean double kill. The question is, who do they give it to? Well, that's going to be heading over the way of the Azir. So nice series of kills going on through. Holy KRP, 1-0 and 2.
He just gave it right back.
Yeah?
That's,
no.
That's a big misplay, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Because why are you up that far to even be ganked? You know that your jungler's topside using the Rift Herald. They know your jungler is topside, which is more important.
Yeah, you know they know.
Yeah, you know that they know.
Oh. But here we go. We're seeing a bit of a collapse coming in once again. Oh. Oh.
And he didn't even use kick to get the kill.
Oh, why did they didn't need to.
Well, that means they were way too far up. I was like, wait.
Look, Azir he was out of vision under their own turret. He was that far away. They were so far forward. They were beyond the second opening to the alcove.
Yeah. I think Azir TP'd behind, I think is what happened.
Yeah.
Oof. That's just that moment you go, just one more wave. Just one more wave.
I'm so close to my item, please.
I can do it.
I can do it, just one more. I don't know about this, man.
Yeah.
That would be me as the support.
And then
I don't know.
And then the TP comes through and you're like, I knew it, man, I knew it.
Yeah, but you've got the Bosch there, so the Bosch knows out of everybody. He used to be the starting AD carry here for Illinois.
No, he gives it in. No, he gives it. No, he's the greediest support then. He's part of the problem, D-Gon.
Yeah, so unfortunately there, it trends back on over to the side of Purdue.
I like how Kuderik is in the Bosch clan.
It's synergy, team synergy right there.
And then Bishop is in for KRP for Kerp.
That's team synergy. Flawed Logic is trying to rep the Purdue.
Look, before
KRP not repping anything.
Look,
He's not repping himself.
Look, before was MSU, we had Skinnergy.
Wait, what's UCTRB?
Don't ask these questions, Zeri. Don't worry.
University of Central TRB.
Just stop. Before we had Skinnergy, now we have Synergy. That was the line, that was the joke. Now the time has passed. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Whew.
I think we have Shox in this push.
Oh, that was Senna though.
Thank you to our observers for
There he
giving
is.
us, there it is, for giving us that vision swap there. Oh, Liznasta up here in the top. Maybe going a little bit too far forward. Topopotamus trying to make his presence felt up here and off to a pretty good start. Oh, able to land the stun. There's the knockup.
Hey,
Can he continue?
You're
I think
right.
Liznasta's just fine.
Right? The slow
Yep.
still keeps hitting him. He needs to wait until after he lands before he cleanses it out.
Yep.
And then
Yum, yum,
chases
yum,
it
yum,
down.
yum, yum, yum.
There it is. All right. A really nice series of stuns there, those knockups coming in from the Cho'Gath. That was really nice play.
Yeah, just that small little play there by Liznasta, a small little misplay there by Liznasta gets him killed, right? You cleanse after you land, otherwise you get slowed, and Topopotamus, who shouldn't be able to chase him down, is able to do so.
Just goes to show at this level of play, you need to be pretty darn perfect with every one of those small mechanical things because you will get punished. These are some of the best teams in Collegiate League of Legends, period. And Illinois is looking to line up a rematch up against MSU for the repeat of the last time we had a BTN championship here. So they are not going to let any of those small things get in their way.
Illinois able to pick up this Drake. Ocean Drake on the board, and it will be an Infernal Rift. Get rid of those walls, boys and girls. Time for destruction.
Time to do some damage. I love it. And looking at this so far, though, it's still an incredibly even game, all things considered, but it just feels like a lot of the kills that Purdue has taken are just pure mistakes from Illinois, whereas the kills that Illinois has been able to get, they were really solid outplays, which makes me think that Illinois does have a bit more of a lead here in this game than just even the 500 gold would say.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with that. I think that the way that the composition looks as well right now, I would say that they're in a super good spot with the Cho'Gath also winning his matchup and the Rengar getting a little bit fed. But on the opposite side, Purdue, I think it's kind of neck and neck, because if they make it later, I like that composition more. The Jinx, the Azir, and the Gangplank. It's just getting through this part where your star player is Clamsparkle. Granted, he's done an amazing job 2-1 and 3, having 100% kill participation. Absolutely incredible. But it's just this transitional phase here where the third Drake will be coming up and trying to kind of turn the tides in favor of your team and stop bleeding objectives.
Yeah, I think it really depends on this. Whenever the next fight breaks out, will Bishop be able to get resets and carry himself through that?
Yeah.
It's such a unique passive, Get Excited, where you get the auto attack speed buff, you get the movement speed buff after every kill, where that's almost like your little push through the power trough, as we call it. Both these champions at the 80k role have those weak mid games, but Jinx has a self-sustainable boost through it if the team is able to get a couple kills in a fight.
That's really what you're looking to try and deny if you are on the side of Purdue, just giving up that first kill, or at least starting things off on your own pace. Wanting to put your best foot forward there. And we saw a high initiation composition from them last time around. I feel like they have a lot more options. They have a go button in flawed logic, but they're not just so reliant on this. They can sort of take fights a little bit more organically rather than feel like they need to all in.
Yeah, nice little attempt there by Purdue, and they pull off early just because the Bosch was able to put down the Mist. And Command Attack wasn't on the board quite yet, so they didn't know if it was going to be a straight-up 5v5, so they opted not to take the 5v4. And it buys a little more time. I like the restraint shown by both teams here. We know that Illinois has been able to do it because they did it last game, not opting into the team fighting composition that Purdue had constructed in game number 1. But nice little show of constraint or restraint here by Purdue. Not picking a fight on their own terms and knowing that they're comfortable with their scaling composition as well.
Yeah, and back in the day where you had a scaling composition, you kind of seed the first 2 dragons. You're like, we're not supposed to get these dragons.
Well, talking about those first dragons, talking about these kills as well, as that is going to be the follow-up there. Nice kill. And Bosch is trying to get himself out now, but we see the rest of the initiation going on through the Silence Force back at the Flash. Oh, nice turn there, though, as well. As the rest of Illinois are joining in the party, trading out, taking down Clamsparkle, but still, the valuable member of Illinois did fall. Kudarik, the ADC, was knocked down by Purdue, so they are more than happy with this one, and almost back in terms of this gold lead.
Yeah, immediate burst down of the 80 carry in Kudarik, and great ult there with the Super Mega Death Rocket by Bishop to just thinly fit it onto Kudarik and pick up the kill. And a great TP into ulti by Command Attack, immediately locking down Clamsparkle. Lee Sin, always known to be able to bounce around, but getting petrified right off the back and then getting bursted down. Nice play by the mid laner to answer back. And I think we're in another period of slow pushing here. You got TP with Holy Carp in the mid lane. He can go split somewhere else, but all the TPs down here for Illinois.
Well, if I'm Purdue, I want to really push the top side right now, because you're about to have that bottom side Drake up, and I have teleports. I have a teleport on Bishop, I have a teleport on Holy Curp. Like, this is the time to get the vision in this area, and he's actually going to TP right back to lane and not try not to lose pressure here. He's going to try to use the item advantage, keep him in lane so that Kudarik can't buy, and they can't purchase items.
Interesting decision here. Bishop opting to try and balance the momentum right now. Nice sidestep there, not going to be knocked up by top Hippopotamus, who's going all in. We're A-ramming at this stage of the game, 20 minutes. Everybody is, I mean, if you can line up a good series of control right here, look towards that Baron, which is spawning shortly, they're just going to sort of sack the Rift Herald at this point. I think that's fine. Just wanted to use it before it goes down. But that just goes to show Illinois a little bit of a lapse in terms of macro right there. They're going to trade the
Cho'Gath can just nom this.
Yeah, totally fine.
I wouldn't say that was a lapse of judgment. I think it was just a decision made there by Illinois. They want to get the Infernal Drake. Willing to trade him. Here we go, Liznasta.
They're going on in. Ace in the hole to try and round this one out. And a good split here coming in. Topopotamus, who's just taking this fight over by himself. Liznasta's still there on the flank, but that Cho'Gath is just so tanky right now. Flawbox is trying to take it down. Goodrick doing a lot of damage there. We are seeing the Bosch command attack. Everybody going on through, finding multiple members with the stun. The ult's coming on through as well. The shutdown onto the Azir, and the kills are just stacking on through, falling like dominoes as Illinois takes this one down. The shutdown going over to the Caitlyn as well. The double kill for the Rengar, and this is the opening that Illinois needed with the ace.
Yeah, and Bishop playing very aggressive even after he used the Flame Chompers. That's your only CC and only way to stay safe there for Jinx. Got himself caught out. Look at this again. Topopotamus with the burst damage. No silence for such a long time on ClamSparkle, not able to use any of his skills. And right here when I was like, I don't know, Bishop. Command attack with a big ult. Didn't get Bishop, but Bishop does get knocked up by the ulti, by the Nautilus ulti, and that was really the end of it. No way to continue your auto attacks, and everybody falls. That leads to Baron, and Illinois found the fight that they needed to get, even though Kuderek wasn't instrumental in it. It was a big play by the mid laner, command attack, followed up by Shox dissing out the damage, and Topopotamus to be in an absolute monster.
And that was just priority and knowing exactly what you want to be doing at all times, because Illinois, they got the dragon, they went mid, they got the fight, and then they got Baron off of it. So they understood that they wanted to get the Drake and that they could have, they could basically have an advantageous fight using Topopotamus. Like, this guy is a big beef ball. He is massive right now. I think he's sporting almost 4,000 HP.
He created so much space. He tied up 3 members of Purdue for about 6 or 7 seconds, which allowed the Cassiopeia to find the opening to get the multiple man petrifying gaze to drop the miasma to let everybody else go on in, and they chained that beautifully with the stun from Topopotamus as well, and that just allowed the damage dealers to just do their work.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The knockup by Topopotamus, not the knockup by Nautilus.
They rhyme.
That's one of the few close rhymes you can get.
I was like, there is a Nautilus in this game, and he
Nautilus
did find a knockup.
Yeah.
The Nautilus of Topopotamus. I mean, I feel like we're walking into a flight of the Concord song.
Oh yeah. But none of that. It's business time.
Okay. Oh, Zyrene. It's you know what, this is definitely one of my favorite casting trios here on this desk working with the ESL Collegiage. It's been a pleasure working with you guys all season.
I said it was business time.
It's time for pleasure. It's time for feels, all right? Come on.
All right, well, right now, the only feeling that Purdue is feeling is a world of hurt. They've lost mid turret, now they're going to lose bottom turret. And this early deficit that Caitlyn was in, now starting to get turned on its head.
And it just seems like the snowball has started rolling down the hill for Illinois. They've almost got themselves a 7K gold lead at this point. They're split pushing, falling back onto those macro routes that did so much work for them in that last game.
I just feel really bad for Bishop because he has just slaughtered both early games, and then he just like gets one death and it's like, the game's over, man. Like, the one time I die, like the one time I don't position perfectly in the team fight, then like his team's a goner.
Yeah, I think the matchup that we thought would go a little bit closer was Liznasta in the top side against Topopotamus, but it hasn't been close throughout these matches, and I think that's been the difference. Bishop has been holding up his end of the bargain. Holy Kerp has been farming, but it hasn't had an opportunity to make plays, and it's broken mainly through the jungle and through the top side. ClamSparkle got an early lead in this game, but has been quiet after being part of all the kills early on in the game, and Shox has taken it over, picking the aggressive feast or famine Rengar, and found success. He's feasted.
I think the biggest difference...
Thanks, Grubhub.
Thanks, Grubhub. I think the biggest difference between this series and the last one is just Illinois' decisions around when to fight. That seems to be the biggest difference, because Purdue was able to find order in the... Oh, nice. Oh, holy Kerp, you absolute mad lad.
No. He's going to be mad in a second when he doesn't get that 4th Drake. So.
Oof. Dragon Soul going to come on through. But no, Purdue was able to find, just work their way through Order from Chaos in 2-0, but now it seems like Illinois has battened down the hatches a little bit. They tightened things up, and any of the little things that might have been putting them on tilt, whether it be playing from home, not in a comfortable setup or situation, whether it be 400 ping, what have you, all of those things are out the window now, and it feels like Illinois is just back on form.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough fight here for Purdue. I think you hit it on the head there, Zyrene. They need to get it, but they're not in position to get it, and Machine Gun Cass is more than happy to take it down herself.
All right, this now becomes infinitely harder for Purdue to win the video game. Or it's going to continue to get infinitely harder the more they stack up those Infernals.
Do they have Soul?
They don't.
No, that was Infernal Drake 2 for them.
Yeah, and Drake number 3. There's one more. So Purdue
Did they not get the first one?
Purdue took one in the early
Mountain
game.
or something?
Yeah, Purdue took the first mountain.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, we still have, unfortunately,
because yeah, the Lee Sin popped off early. That's right, that's right.
That observer glitch, where unfortunately we are unable to see what the Drakes are for both sides, so we're just going to try and memorize it as best as possible for you all in the chat. Thanks for bearing with us on that one, because of course these Drakes, Rise of the Elements, such an important factor, especially heading to the late game, and now we're post 25 minutes. Things are getting spooky.
Again, this is where Purdue really turn on too, but the Cho'Gath is just so scary.
Yeah.
It's so hard to kill him.
And Jinx doesn't have anything to deal with it quite yet. You build the Lord Dominic's for it, so you are able to shred through it, but you've got to complete your double crit item, your double zeal item, as Bishop has. Now you can start building that next item, that armor penetration, possibly you could go with the damage dealing one, or the healing reduction.
Oh, Mortal Reminder?
Yeah, Mortal Reminder there to stop the healing from Topopotamus because he hasn't built a ton of armor and will constantly heal up, but I think the play is Lord Dominic's Reminder and do percentage.
Wait, did the sweeper just show like the dead grass?
Did it?
Yeah, when he went past I think it showed like the dead grass.
That's cool.
No, that was weird.
Look, some of these small interactions still just working on through.
Also means it's a unideal environment or ecosystem for the Rengar. Not as many brush. You gotta save the rainforest.
Oh, holy curb.
Oh?
Shox is a little bit far up.
But the rest of the team is going to be there to try and help him out. Flame Sparkle taking the shot. Shox just walks away.
Flawed logic queued and it hit the wall instead. Is right in front of him.
Yeah, your Nautilus ulti, that's a big CC constraint.
Oh boy.
Purdue's not going to have a way on in. They're just conceding it. They're realizing, hey, look, we're going to constantly scale. This Nasa's going to keep farming up. Holy Carpet, 288 is a farm machine, but just hasn't quite been able to find the fight. And I think a good place to pick a fight if you are down on a champion like Azir is the base. So keep an eye on Holy Carp to make a play here. He's going to have to if Purdue have a chance here.
Yeah, he's going to have to pop off. But look at this, Clam Sparkle. This man started 2-1-3, 100% kill participation. He's level 11 to Shox's level 14. He is 3 levels down, and the catch-up experience doesn't exist. They keep taking his jungle. He's a kick bot. That's it. That's all he gets to do is kick somebody back, and then he just goes, goodbye, team. Like, he's got a Flame Horizon. He's so far down. He's literally an R button if he can make it to the back line. That's it.
And doesn't get silenced by Topopotamus, which has happened almost every fight.
Yeah, or like the Bosch makes the Caitlyn untargetable. There's so many things that he has to navigate, and he's only a tiny little level 11 Lee Sin.
So what you're saying is it's a bit of a struggle for Purdue right now to just get on through this one. And I definitely feel like we're feeling that struggle a little bit here. Trying to throw down the miasma, the poke coming in from Illinois. They're just being relentless in their macro right now. The 4-1 Rengar split push. Being cognizant of that as Shox is here. And now they're just slowly tightening the vice. I say death by 1,000 cuts. Numbers being there is the stun, the silence, the follow-up is there. The Senna ult. Lasnasis on the flank. There's not a whole lot he can do. And here goes Shox. He's not even caring about the kills. He just wants that inhib turret. Cute sidestep onto the dredge line as multiple inhib turrets are dropping. They're just pushing right on in. Illinois know this is their game to take over and win. Topopotamus is getting chunked on down. He's getting knocked on up, but he cannot die. This man will not fall, diving underneath the Nexus turrets. And this is Illinois just piling on Purdue at this point. They want a 2-0 victory, and that is what they will get. A quadra kill for Kuderik and crew, and that is going to be the win. GG, the University of Illinois will advance to your grand finals.
Yeah, you know what? The players change, but the story's the same. Michigan State and Illinois meeting in the finals yet again. Kuderik able to bounce back after a very difficult early game. He finishes with 6 kills and was able to delete Holy Kerp there at the very end. Holy Kerp still had flash, but one big crit there took him down. That was a nice little bounce back there for the AD carry for Illinois.
And I definitely think the 2 best teams are making the finals here of the BTN. And I'm really happy that it's a rematch too, because last time it went 5 games. It was so close, and the last game was the closest, and that left me wanting more of that series, and now I get to have it.
And it's so interesting because after that first set with Michigan State, I was like, yo, Michigan State's looking so good. They keep playing like that. I have them pegged to take the whole thing. Keeping in mind that I was thinking about the Illinois that we saw 2 weeks ago. I don't know if that statement's still going to stand true given how Illinois looks today. The macro just seems to be on another level. Their decision-making on when to take the team fights or when to just say no when their opponents want to take team fights. Like, in Purdue's like, we want to dance. And Illinois is like, not the right song. Come back later. We want to dance. Still not the right track, all right? And that's just what it felt like the whole game until finally Illinois is like, all right, boys, let's hit the dance floor. And that was just it. GG. The match was over. Blink and you miss it when they press the go button, the trigger, whatever it have you be. There's a trigger. They have a Senna. They have a Kalen. It was a trigger.
Yeah,
but in any case,
I would say on the bottom side of the map, that's where I'm looking for that matchup. At Dillaran and Moonlight against Kuderik and the Bosch. Can Kuderik and the Bosch get through this tough early lane phase against one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant bot lane in the BTN for Michigan State? That's where I'm most excited to see that one.
Absolutely. And Returned is standing by. There were a lot of great moments in that game. What are we looking at, Return?
All right, we're looking at something very similar to what we saw in game number 1, and it is once again a mid-lane, mid-game play that ends up handing Illinois basically full control of this matchup. Last time, it was a lot more focused on the individual positioning from the members of Purdue. This time, it's more about the composition, and just a little bit of a forewarning. What this fight is basically it's a breakdown of how to fight with a tank versus without a tank, of course, as we're going to let this one start to play on through. Illinois has a lot of the advantage here. Not only is Shox able to basically nuke out LZ Nasta, but pausing right here, you can see what everyone is looking at. Everyone is looking at the giant tank that is Topopotamus. Had a fantastic game this time around. Having a big tank like this on the front line lets you dictate kind of the pace of the game. Look at how free this backline for Illinois is just able to roam because they have no real concern that any of this damage is going to come over to them. It's all going straight into the Cho'Gath. And as we play this one out, you can see how this room not only gives room for Command Attack and Bosch and Kendrick to move around freely how they want, but once this fight resets, and you can pause actually once again right here, you can see how this starts to turn around. Because now, even though they have now dealt with the threat that is Cho'Gath, there is no way for any member of this backline to actually get damage down. Because you see, Jinx has to walk up into range, and all of a sudden, boom, she is now just the immediate target of absolutely everyone and their mother here. Even Shox can make a play at her eventually too, and it is just this inability to find those fights that just hands it over to Illinois. And we're gonna go ahead and just watch how this one plays out a little bit predictably, especially if you watched the game already. But it is the inability to control these fights leads to an absolutely fantastic knockout from Topopotamus. They just melt on down. In Illinois, they just need a single moment. If you're going to be playing without a tank, you need to make sure you are the one controlling these fights. Purdue don't quite find that, and the blitz coming out from Illinois is enough to move them to the finals. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Returns. And we did notice it there in the moment how impactful Topopotamus was, but watching it back in slow motion really just showed how strong of a player he was and how the rest of his team was able to work around him and help them secure the victory. And we spoke to him earlier on in the day. It was the Bosch from Illinois who was back once again on the line, hot off the victory. Smiles we see, and that was a pretty solid win, sir. That was a pretty darn clean 2-0.
Yeah, it feels good to actually have non-spiking ping. We're easily able to show them that we're the better team. And even without Josh, may he do Godspeed work in the military service. But hopefully we can keep ourselves on track and beat MSU again.
Yeah, you guys didn't have the most stable game on the bottom side of the map. What was it like going through your comms, knowing that, hey, look, we are playing from behind here, but this is how we're going to change our strategy to win?
Yeah, I mean, whole series and pretty much most of the games against Purdue are pretty much top difference. Our mid laner is pretty good too, and our jungler is just insane. So typically we just play through them, and we know that all we got to do is not lose through bot, and we're good.
So, kind of a sidetracking question here. Why is Kuderik in the Bosch clan?
Everybody's in the Bosch clan. You want to join the Bosch clan? Like,
Oh, actually, send me the invite, man.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, from start to finish over the course of that set, you guys seemed like you had the right decisions made. You guys obviously were able to watch Michigan State play earlier in the day. You know who you're up against. How confident are you feeling, especially in terms of macro? You guys look super clean. How are you feeling going into this next match?
Yeah, we're thinking of picking Project to hopefully counter the Victorious setup they got going on. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be a close game.
It's obviously a little bit hard to tell in terms of drafts just because you haven't really seen what Michigan State's actually going to do in terms of drafts. Obviously, memeing and trolling aside, how much is that actually going to affect the draft going into this? Because you guys really don't know what they're going to pick.
Yeah, I think when we face a lot of good teams like MSU, the best thing to do is to decide, hey, they can play everything, right? And so we play it like we're playing any team that knows how to play everything. So we ban out the things that are strong, and we play to the best of our ability, and we hope that they play to theirs too.
All right, well, we're hoping to see a great match as well. Congratulations. Go take a little bit of a break. Maybe have a sip of water, relax, order some Grubhub. I don't know, just saying. And we'll see you in just a little bit in the grand finals.
Thank you.
So you saw it there. I mean, just the quiet confidence of the Bosch. I mean, he didn't really have any doubts going to that game, I think.
No, he didn't, and that was the diplomatic answer saying, I hope they play the best, blah, blah, blah. But again, they're the returning champs, but it feels like it's a new position for this Illinois team that has a newer roster and might be coming into this one as the underdog compared to Michigan State. So I think it's a cool dynamic to see one of the two remaining vets from this championship roster now ushering in his young ones into the championship match.
Everybody's in the Bosch clan. Like they're all on board. I think that the match that we're about to see is going to be incredible. I really don't know who's going to come out on top. I kind of have an idea, but we won't know until we see it because we don't know what Michigan State is capable of because you brought it up. No idea what they actually play.
Look, all I know is that we need to be fueled up to go into this grand finals, which means it's time for your cast and chat chow down. Let's find out what the winner here was in just a second. Of course, a big thank you to Grubhub, the official food delivery partner of ESL Collegiate here for the BTN 2019 preseason invitational.
I've been smelling stuff, and I feel like we got pasta or Italian. Like, I don't know what it is. What is that?
Thai.
Did we get Thai?
Wow.
Your nose is not good.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, what? What? I mean, it's not good, I guess. But I was just like, I smell something that's like.
It smells delicious. It's some kind of soup.
Yeah, it was like something that has like tomato sauce or something. I was like, what is this?
There might be tomatoes in
Decided this is tied.
All right, I'm going to move back so I don't splash this shirt. I mean, it's pink, but I'm really nervous about getting food all over myself on camera, so thank you all. And, of course, thank you to Grubhub for joining us here, of course, one of the largest networks of diners and restaurants, and helping to create a bunch of cool opportunities for you at home to get access to free food, whether it be for the Grubhub Perks program, whether it be for that link you see right down on your screen below me. You can get $12 off your first order of $15 or more. Wait, Zyrene gets different. Right, the vegetarian options.
Yeah, he's got the vegetarian.
It's all packed. It's like literally packed in there.
Wow, it really is. That looks delicious, actually. Hang on.
It's like one of those things that you could like, you put two glass panes together and you like preserve something underneath it. It's like that. It's that tight. It's like, oh, look at the cross section of this.
Oh my goodness, this smells delicious, actually. Hang on. I'm really stoked. I haven't had Thai food in ages, so this is great. How is it? How's it looking? Degon, take over. Right? Here we go. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
In there. All right, let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's spicy. Oh, it's good.
This curry's so good.
They give me the spicy curry and give you the non-spicy
That's
curry?
right. We've learned over time.
Oh, it's so delicious. That's great. Awesome. All right, well, that's our cast and chat chow down. We're going to hop on to a little bit more of a significant break here, give our players a little bit of time to reset going into this. We're going to enjoy our delicious food, so thank you so much, Grubhub. We'll see you back in a bit for our grand finals. It is Michigan State taking on Illinois.